This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Hello, America, and welcome to the #1 radio station in all of Fort Myers Beach. Beach Talk Radio. Here are your hosts, Kim and Ed Wright.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Beach Talk Radio. We're broadcasting live from 820 Buttonwood, just before you get to the bridge to go over to Fort Myers Beach. 820 Buttonwood was where all the activity began back when the storm first hit. It's where we kind of all gathered when there was really nowhere to go. It's where all the donations were dropped off. So the folks that needed generators and other supplies to get their lives back in order over on Fort Myers Beach and in all of the 33931 zip code were kind of meeting. And it's now an official 501c3 charity. And the folks that are volunteering here today are out on the side of the building unloading a big 18-wheeler. Is it an 18-wheeler? It's a big giant truck of donated supplies. And so we're going to talk to Heidi and some of the other folks today. But our first guest, Jan Peralt and Gisela. Sorry. She's
okay.
Nice and close with the mics.
Okay.
And you folks are from the area around here, and you kind of lived through the storm. So, Jay, why don't you tell us your story first?
Well, the storm hit. I was out of town, so I was lucky there. But I'm located at the end of Main Street in Port Carlos Cove, and the house was totaled, water up to your Adam's apple level in the house. So, citizens said anything above that we'll cover, and anything below that you've lost. So no flood insurance. So basically, I've been down this place quite a bit.
And because you get some donated supplies from 820 when you need
Heidi
them.
And them, yes, for not only myself, but my neighbors and
Okay.
stuff. There's a couple of women in the park that lost their cars and everything and no husbands. So they needed food. They needed other supplies. So, we all kind of cooked communally. We did a lot of things communally.
Now, when you is it at mobile home park? Is that
It's a mobile home park. Yeah.
okay? How many units were in
155.
and all wiped out, or
Well, 100 of them, I've heard 100 plus have been now destroyed.
Wow.
I'm rebuilding mine. It's 3.5 feet off the ground, but most of them are gone.
so when you rebuild a mobile home, you have to rebuild it only 3.5 feet off the ground?
My home is up 3.5 feet. So we had decided to tear it down and demolish it after
Okay.
gutting it. And when we came back, found out that the rules had changed. We got to be on a platform at 10 feet high
10 feet high.
at $65,000 for the platform. So that kind of, with no insurance coverage, that limited what you can do. So the only thing that a bunch of us are doing are rebuilding our homes. You gut them, you take all the sheetrock out, all the insulation, everything out, electricity, everything, and then you start over. So you got your frame, and that's basically what you're building on.
So so just to be clear, how high up do you have to be now off the ground?
I'm grandfathered in.
I see.
At 3.5 feet is the height of the bottom of the steel in the mobile. So it's actually 48 inches off the ground. But the flood hit up there at 12,
Sure.
10, 12 feet. So it was flooded pretty bad.
When the storm first came through, this area around here was, there were boats everywhere and
I had a
buildings
boat in
mangled.
my lanai. Yeah,
No kidding.
came right in.
What's it like over there now? Is it pretty much cleaned up?
It's very clean. FEMA's really been active, pulling all the waste out, and they paid for it. The individuals that had their homes demolished paid the outside contractor to demolish them, and then FEMA came and removed all
Gotcha.
the debris. So it's fairly clean now, with about 50 units left in the park.
We'll get back to your story. Share your story, please, with our audience.
Okay. Wayne and I abandoned our house at about 11:30 that morning. Climbed out our window. The water was already up to our waist, already coming in our house. So we spent 8 hours in the water.
Wow.
We come through the park.
Now tell everybody where your place is.
Oh, we live on 855 and 853 South Street on Fort Myers Beach. It's behind the Moose on San Carlos Island.
Okay, so it's not yet over the bridge.
No,
it's
it's before the
gotcha,
bridge.
gotcha.
And Yeah, we spent 8 hours in the water. We came across the Moose parking lot over towards Tina's because that's where our cars were parked.
Right.
And we was standing there in the corner for a long time, and finally said a little prayer. A door came down, wall fell down at the luxury rentals building.
I don't know where that is. Luxury rentals building is.
You know where Tina's is?
Yes.
Okay, it's down towards where the old Goodwill is.
Okay.
Used to be. And that door came down.
Just came floating down.
He said a little prayer. About 2 seconds later, that wall came down, and we climbed in there and climbed in the back and sat up on the shelves until 7:30.
Holy moly! 8 hours in the water. Like, how high up was the water? And
well, we were on the top shelves with our head bent
no,
over.
I mean before you even got there. How high?
It was up to here. I was going to drown.
And you were just standing in the parking lot
in the corner
of the Tina's,
where that strip mall is.
Wow.
In the corner.
Was there all debris and stuff in the water floating?
The water. That's why we're in the corner, because there's 3 big piles and tied up there. So that way, if the cars started floating, at least they wouldn't pin us against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be behind the pilings there.
So you got into the building and
we sat on the shelves, until about 7:30 when the water started going down, finally going out. We climbed off the shelves and waited to go walk back to our house.
And so there was nobody out to rescue you at that point. They tell you they can't go out. And so you go back to your house and
we unlocked the door, opened the door, and it looked like a washing machine had went through there.
Mm-hmm.
So and it was getting dark. So our neighbor actually took us in, and we slept on his couch for 2 days.
Wow. So when you're in the water like that, at least you're together, I guess. But
Right.
what are you thinking?
Well, just praying you're alive and you're not drowning.
Yeah. Did you see any other people that were around that were?
No, we didn't see anybody until after we climbed down, and we went over to Tina's. The door was open.
Yeah.
Swinging in the thing, and there was 4 people in there, and they had been laying in the rafters all day, and they had just climbed down since the water started receding.
I didn't realize how high it was up in that
we had
area.
20 feet. Yeah.
Wow. So what's going on with your house?
We are rebuilding because we do have a block house, so we just had to gut it, and we've just been putting it back together.
How'd you make out with insurance? And
our flood did pay off.
Nice. You don't hear that often, so that's
No.
some good news there.
Well, most people, when they pay their house off, they don't keep their insurance, but I just kept paying my insurance.
Nice.
So
now, did you fit below the 50%, or were you above the 50%? How did that work for you?
50%.
Like the FEMA 50% rule, you're able to rebuild without it costing 50% above the value of the structure, or so you didn't have to knock it down and build higher.
No, we didn't have to knock it down and build up.
So how long do you think it'll take before you're feeling good about your house again?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm pretty confident where we're at. We had to buy an RV because FEMA told us we couldn't have one. So we went and bought an RV and put it in our driveway so we can work on it every day.
Now, how do you guys deal with what you went through? Like mentally, that's got to be hard to go through that in your mind again, like being in the water for 8 hours and climbing up.
Well, it's hard for me to talk about. I'm
Sure.
surprised I'm not bawling at this point.
Sure.
But you just got to pick yourself up and brush yourself off and keep on going.
Yeah. How's your husband?
Nobody's going to do it for you.
How's your husband doing?
He's doing good.
Yeah.
He was fully retired, and he's been working like a mad dog.
Yeah. So what about you?
Well, I didn't have the near death experience that you went through, but my gosh, do you have any ramifications of that?
It's just I got some video, but it's really I can't watch it.
Okay. Do you have nightmares or anything?
No.
Gosh, that'd been frightening
Yeah.
with a flood like that.
Well, when you walk back to your home and it's basically destroyed or not there anymore, I mean, that's no, that's no
I think
joyride.
It was a joke. We used to say, if it comes in, just put a sail on it, let it sail across the Gulf of Mexico. And then when you come down and find out it didn't sail off, but it's flooded. So it was quite a mess and quite a job. And you meet a lot of good people during a
Sure.
tragedy. In fact, I've met neighbors I've never met before, and we've done a lot of things communally. Look at this outfit here. It's been here since the flood.
They've
And,
been wonderful here.
absolutely.
Go ahead and talk about 820 Buttonwood, because
Yeah, they've been wonderful because I haven't worked in almost 7 months. I was the bar manager at Matanzas on the Bay.
okay,
There for over 24 years.
wow,
And I will go back as a bartender again, hopefully soon. And just not having any unemployment since the end of January. So as far as coming in and helping with food and snacks, water, toilet paper, paper towels, laundry detergent,
Toothbrushes, even.
toothpaste,
You know,
shampoo. It's helped me a lot because, like I said, my husband's fully retired and I don't have any income coming in, so they've helped a lot for everybody.
Due to a mistake on FEMA's part, they entered in the wrong information on me on the computer, which meant that I didn't get any citizens payout because it's flood. I didn't have flood insurance. So the only money that we anticipated was from FEMA, and mine didn't come in until the end of January. So this place was a godsend.
It's so unusual for me to hear people say FEMA made a mistake. It's just not something I'm being very sarcastic about that. That's all you hear about is the nightmare that FEMA is. And
once they make a mistake, somebody put the wrong information in a box.
Yeah.
Try to get that
Forget
box
about
cleaned
it.
out and changed.
One thing that did work is when FEMA hired an outside contractor to remove the debris and just paid for it. That's one thing the government is real good at, is spending money. They just need to find the right people to spend it on, like Crowder Gulf and those guys that have been removing the debris. Also, the folks that have been removing the debris from the mangroves and the canals. It's just like a massive undertaking. There's just so much debris everywhere.
And there still is.
Yeah. Coming down the street to here, I haven't been here in several months. There's still an upside down boat at the corner there. It's like, wait, that boat been there the whole time? Now it's like a street ornament sitting on the corner there.
They've got one big one out of there.
Yeah.
And that sailboat's still sitting there.
And it was nice to see across the street, there's actually a new building going up. But you don't see that a lot. So that was nice across there.
It's kind of rebirth, I guess. It makes you feel good to see it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. To hear the saws going and the construction starting. Yeah. So anything else you want to say about 820 Buttonwood? I mean, go ahead.
Yes, I do.
Nice and close. I
my house needs a roof, and my neighbor's house needs a roof. Many neighbors need a roof.
Yeah.
And the average price per a square on roof was $349 a square before this hurricane. It's now $1,000 a square.
Wow.
Citizens, those people at Citizens got paid for roofs, got around $349 a square. So there's no way they can afford the jacked up prices on these roofs. So once it becomes down the road where things get reasonable, hopefully we can get our roofs done. And if there's anybody watching, I need a roof.
Yeah, call Liberty Roofing. They're one of our sponsors. See if they will.
I will call.
Yeah, Liberty Roofing. They're on our website, and hopefully somebody working there will hear what you just said, because that's insane.
Yes, please call me, or I'll give me a number.
I'll
call you.
Yeah. So anything you want to add about these folks here?
I'm just saying they do a fantastic job. They're just so, all of them are just so nice and wonderful. And I'm just sorry I had to meet them under the circumstances.
Right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, and good luck with everything. And hopefully you'll be back in your house as soon, and everything will be back to as much normal as it can be. But it's also nice to have folks over here at 820 Buttonwood helping out the way they are, and
still helping.
Yeah.
And yes, they are.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck. And thank you again for coming on. And I don't know if you're heading back out that way. If you could maybe send Heidi over this way to come on, that'd be great. And Jay, before you leave, I'm going to give you this so you can write the number down. Call Patrick right there. I love when things work out like that. I can also give you a piece of paper if you wanted to write it down and rip out a piece in the back of this book. Here, you know what? Take this flyer right here. Oh, you're going to take a picture. Very nice. All right. Wow. Just when you thought you heard every story about what happened during the storm, you hear these amazing people tell their stories, and just crazy being out in the water for 8 hours and losing your house and stuff. So it's nice to talk to these folks here. And I did want to tell everybody that the 5K race that we have planned for May the 13th, the money that we're raising from the 5K race is going to be given to 820 Buttonwood. It's going to be given officially to FMB Strong, which is the official name of the 501c3. And the race is Saturday, May the 13th in Times Square. The race begins at 8 o'clock, and it's going to be a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, and also a 1 mile fun run, which is not going to be timed, but it's just going to be for fun. We will have medals and awards, or medals for the top 3 finisher in every age category, starting in the teens all the way up to, I think, 80 years old. They're really super nice medals. And we have 18 sponsors for the race, which is really great. And you can check all the sponsors out. There's a news story in the newsletter this morning that we had, so you can see all the sponsors there. And we also have flyers if anybody wants to put up some flyer anywhere on Fort Myers Beach to remind everybody about the race. It's May the 13th. It's called the Day Before Mother's Day 5K race and 1 mile fun run. And we hope you'll join us in Times Square, because there's going to be a lot of nonprofit organizations down there too, with tents set up. And here's Heidi. Grab your microphone, Heidi. This is our camera over here, just so I don't get distracted by the laptop. And Heidi, introduce our guests to our
guest.
Large audience.
This is Irina. Irina she's basically our hero here at Buttonwood. If we didn't have Irina, we would not have what we have in here. She has been our route for all supplies that we have. She's connected with Mission Church, Third Wave Volunteers.
Give us a little more background. you're making.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand it over to her.
All right.
And she can tell us
Yeah,
all.
yeah. How did you guys find each other? First of all, how'd you know they were here and start bringing over supplies for everybody?
I've been here since 12 hours after the storm.
Okay.
So I came with Third Wave Volunteers.
What is Third Wave Volunteers?
It's a relief effort organization. So it's called Third Wave because basically you come in the third wave. So you get first responders, you get the government coming in, and then Third Wave comes in, and we help with everything from search and rescue to search and recovery to the rebuilding, demo work, and now supplies.
So you're bringing in a truck of supplies every week?
Almost.
And where are you getting the supplies from?
The important thing about that is networking. So you build a network, you connect with people that help you get these supplies. You have to build the trust too. So they have to know that you're getting these out to people, and that takes a little more time than just connecting with people. So I was very fortunate that I had a lot of bridges that got me to these incredible organizations that continue.
How did you build that whole network up?
With a lot of love, a lot of respect, and a lot of trust. So you get the first shipment in, and the one thing I hate doing is documenting, because I'd like to just focus on the work, but you do have to document what you're doing so that people can see
Sure. Yeah.
that you're getting these supplies.
That's
out
what
in
builds
right
the
way.
trust. Yep.
Yeah, that's what builds the trust. So I was very, very fortunate that I got connected with charity over at Mission Community Church. And then through Kara, I got connected with the Freedom Tour and Pastor Bobby. And
where is that?
They're in Lake Wales. The Freedom Tour is in Lake Wales, and Mission Community Church is here in Fort Myers over by Martin Luther King.
So somehow they know you need supplies, and they are all gathering supplies. You put them on a truck and bring them over.
I send them a wish list.
I see.
And then what they have, depending on what they have in the warehouse, they send us semis every week.
And these are just warehouses of supplies that people that belong to the churches donate to, or other members in the community donate to. And
you have organizations like P&G that'll send supplies over to them, and then they distribute it based on need. And so it's a supply and demand kind of thing, but they have to know that these supplies are getting out to the people that actually need it, as opposed to going to people that are going to grab it and sell it and make a profit.
Right. I mean, that's difficult sometimes. I mean, we've seen some of it, not a lot of it, but we've seen some of it here sometimes, and they have to be stopped.
In the beginning, we did.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell the difference.
Sure.
And bad thing is that you've got a lot of people that are making money off of these situations, and then they'll come in and they'll get supplies for free, and then they'll charge.
Yeah, they're going to hell.
The homeowners for those supplies that they're actually taking for free. So
Heidi, how do you know what to put on the wish list?
Every week we go through what our shelves look like. Last week our wish list was a huge demand for food.
Okay.
Our shelves are really low on food. So we filled them up last week. We said, hey, we need food. And
Got
it
food.
was here last week.
Wow.
And we filled the shelves up again. Some weeks, like now we're in need of RV toilet paper. It's been on our wish list.
Right.
But, I mean, if we get it, we get it.
I remember when we
So-
first started to do the donations, we got so much of that RV toilet paper, and
Yeah.
I never knew RV toilet paper existed
And
until
it's
this
very
storm.
Toilet paper also because it's paper thin.
Yeah.
So you can use Scott toilet paper.
RV
as a-
toilet paper is very expensive.
Did you say Scott toilet paper? Isn't that like paper
It's like
towels?
a whisper.
I see. I see. Yeah.
The Scott toilet paper is ultra thin, so you can actually use that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean it for it to delve into the toilet paper situation,
We've
but
talked a
usually
lot
when
about
I'm doing a show, it does go that route once in a while. So is this all volunteer for you?
Yeah, I've been volunteering for 7 months now.
7 months.
Got
Like
here 12 hours after the storm, and I've stayed.
how do you make a living? Like you can't volunteer forever, can you?
No, I was a college professor over on the east coast of Florida, and took time to come and spend some time here, and then quit and decided
Wow.
to stay. Yeah, there's a lot of work. We've done a lot of demo work, and there's a lot of work. So it's hard to go home and sit back and watch TV when you know that there's a lot.
Where are you
that needs to
from?
be done. West Palm Beach.
So you're from West Palm Beach and you come over here.
I'm
Like you
living here.
came over here.
Yeah.
What possessed you to like get in a car and come to Fort Myers?
I've been doing relief work for 7 years. So we did Dorian over in the Bahamas.
Right.
And I spent 5 months over there rebuilding schools. And then during the pandemic, we volunteered the entire time, handing out masks and taking food to people. And then
Uh-huh.
once the storm hit, I got the call from my dad instantly in the middle of the hurricane.
Where was
asking
he?
me- He's home. He's in West Palm.
Okay.
But he instantly asked, "Are you packed?" Because he knew I would be here. So we came with a team, and everybody split up. We handed out solar lights, which was one of the first things that we actually handed out to people. Were these? I wish I had one here. These little solar lights, so that people could see at night. Because one of the biggest things that happens, kind of like Naked and Afraid. You start thinking about food, water, shelter, and safety, obviously. And when you're dealing with complete blackouts, you've got so much debris
Mhm.
around, and you
You
can't
get hurt.
see.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you survive the storm, but then you
Right.
deal with
They talk about the
stepping
injuries
on
after
nails.
that when
Yeah.
you're walking through debris.
Yeah.
So how like it was chaos the first few days after the storm. How were you even allowed to go over the bridge and help people? Like, did they know did the sheriff's department know your organization? And you say, listen, I'm going out to hand lights, or you just try and go around them?
Well, you build connections, and it's a matter of trust. So I think one of the biggest things that we had to do was show our intentions in what we were doing here, and the fact that we came to help. We didn't come to take advantage of any situation or glorify any situation. We came to help, and that showed in our efforts. And we were able to gain the trust of the police department and the fire department. And over time, we got access to the beach. And once we started bringing in supplies, we would bring them in late at night. So we had passes to be able to cross the bridge to
Okay.
get supplies in, just because it was easier to bring them in late at
Sure.
night. You didn't have to deal with the traffic of people in the distribution centers. And so we'd load up trucks and come in at 12, 1, 2
And
in
where'd
the
you
morning.
where'd you go? Like, where'd you park your trucks? And
What do you mean?
like there was nothing but sand and debris on Estero Boulevard.
Yeah, we would carry a lot of the supplies. And I have a wagon, a little.
She's the little Red
Mhm.
Riding Hood in her
Yeah.
wagon.
I've had multiple. Actually, I have these little kind of beach wagons. And what we would do is load up the wagons with supplies, and then we would just walk the streets and take them to people, whether it was water, tarps, those solar lights, food, whatever we could actually load up in those little wagons. So we would just walk around the street with these little wagons.
Did you run into a lot of people that were over there?
Yeah, there was a lot that we saw.
And so the lights were one of the first things. What else do you know to
Solar
bring
lights.
in case this ever happens
Tarps.
again? Tarps.
Yeah, tarps. We brought a lot of tarps, a lot of water, a lot of food, simple things, tuna packets.
Easy to eat.
Easy to eat.
Yeah.
Brought a lot of can openers. because whether you think so or not, and to see people's faces when you hand them a can opener,
Right.
it's those little things that you sit back and you just don't think about in situations like that. But when you give somebody a can of tuna and you can't open the can of tuna is insignificant at that point. So we would bring in can openers, a lot of those little military can openers too, so that they were easy to give out. But we loaded up with whatever we could get, and then we started bringing in generators and things like that so that we could get that out to people.
Yeah, that was a big thing back in the day.
Yeah.
Generators and then tools after that, and now so how often or how much longer are you going to keep doing this?
I'm moving here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to keep working.
All right. So now you'll drive the truck from where to where? I mean, if you're here now, how the hell are you going to do this?
I'm going to do this as long as I can. As long as Buttonwood and Beach Baptist stay open, I'll be getting supplies to them.
Yeah. Oh, you know that guy that runs the Beach Baptist too, huh?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, he's another saint over there.
Yeah.
Just like somebody says, you need to be nominated for sainthood.
No.
Yeah.
No, my parents do. I just was raised.
Why do
by
you say
really good
that?
Parents. Well, just we're immigrants, so we came here and we didn't have anything, and we were just very fortunate that we had a family that helped us get on our feet. And so my father's been somebody who's embedded service in me my whole life, and he's always taught me, you have to earn the life that you have, and you do that by service.
Yeah.
Now, so how did you guys meet? Like, what just here? We were just here. Did you guys run into each other here, or?
I was not here the day that Irina came through the front door. I was gone for 2 weeks. I had a family wedding in Wisconsin, so I was gone at the end of October, beginning of November, and I came back, and they said, "You're going to be so happy. Look who we found."
Mm-hmm.
And a couple hours later that day, here she was, and she's been a blessing, a real blessing to this place.
Now,
she's helped so many people, more than she knows. Really, she has.
Where whose truck is it? Is it your truck or somebody?
No, the trucks come from the organizations that we're getting.
Okay.
Donations
You drive the truck?
No.
Okay.
You don't want me driving that.
So you got a truck driver and you are coming over once a week, every Tuesday,
I'm here. I call Pastor Bobby or Charity. Charity's amazing because she'll call me as soon as they get certain supplies that she knows are critical to here. She'll let me know exactly what's in the warehouse. Pastor Bobby does the same thing, communicate all the time. And then I'll let them know, hey, they need toilet paper, they need paper towels, they need food. What do you have in the warehouse that can come here? And so they'll deliver it knowing that we'll get it out.
Now, are there other things that you need here that you don't have that can be donated? Like from
paper plates are a huge item. And everyone says, why paper plates? Well, a lot of people are living in RVs.
Yeah.
Right.
And the last thing you want to try to do is dishes in an RV.
Yeah.
So,
and you're also dealing with people that still don't have power, still don't have
water. There's people that still have no power, no water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The storm just happened for some.
Yeah.
There's still people that are
just coming back.
Yeah. I mean, we're dealing with some houses that we're just now starting to demo.
When you say, how are you demoing a house? I mean, what do you drive some kind of vehicle that knocks down houses too?
No, I go in with a sledgehammer and we go to town.
Are you serious?
The jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how are they getting your information that you'll go demo their house? Just from just from word of mouth? They know you'll go in there, I'm guessing, with a group of people, not with just yourself and a sledgehammer.
Yeah, sometimes it's just my boyfriend and I, and sometimes it's Bruce. When Bruce,
we miss Bruce. He was a volunteer.
Bruce. Okay. Where'd he go?
Tremendously back to Wisconsin for the summer.
A lot of people live in Wisconsin. We love Wisconsin.
Yeah, he left just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we miss him.
Yeah.
He needs to come back.
I'd drag him. I'd drag him everywhere with me. I'd call him. He would call me in the morning and be like, all right, what are we doing today, kid?
Most dudes are lazy. Like, how did you find a boyfriend that also wants to do what, volunteer time? Like,
I actually met him here.
Okay.
Yeah. He was over at a distribution center and he would help me unload trucks.
I see. Is there wedding bells in the future there and then babies? And you don't need to answer that. I'm kidding about the dudes being lazy.
I'm not going to say no. So he's good stuff. He's definitely somebody that can put up with the way that I
So are there that many more houses that need to be like knocked down with a sledgehammer? I mean, I've seen some of them over on the beach, and they don't look like you can take them down with a sledgehammer. They're just
just
pancaked.
the inside.
Yeah.
The inside. You start with the interior, hoping that there's a way to save it, because you have to see what the wood looks like and how bad the black mold has gotten, because that's one of the biggest issues is mold.
Yeah. Let's see. Candy wants to know if stuff can be directly donated to Buttonwood address.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is 820 Buttonwood 33931. Right? Right. And so I mean, if you want to get on Amazon and buy some paper plates, you can send them here to Buttonwood.
And
plasticware, paper plates,
Ziploc bags, tin foil,
garbage bags. You were just saying you're out of garbage bags
we're
today.
Out of trash bags.
Garbage bags, construction size garbage bags are big. They're actually obviously they're really helpful with demos.
Yeah.
So.
Now, where are you going to move to? Like, it's not like there's a lot of housing available anywhere near around here.
Yeah, right now I'm staying in a tent. I'm happy.
Are you shitting me?
No.
You're staying in a tent.
Yeah.
Where? Well, you don't have to give out your address.
Come on, Ed.
I can't believe you're staying in a tent.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be on the island because they frown on that.
The other thing we could use now is sunscreen.
Of course.
Because it's starting to get hot. And
I'm going to write all that down. I will follow up with the people out there. So
there's a list of stuff. It's just
and every week the list changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should check in once a week. Like power tools.
Yeah, tools are always
Still
good.
Yeah.
So, I had about $5,000 worth of tools stolen.
Out of your tent?
No, actually, we went to do a demo at a house, and sadly, one of the volunteers left the tools there, thinking it was okay because we were going to head back there the next day. And within 2 hours, they were all gone.
Jeez, people are nasty.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look at Jorge Barrera's here volunteering again. That guy's always volunteering.
He gave me one of the little, one of the cards. And one of the cards stolen too. And then Jorge.
So how do you convince other people to do what you do? I'm not saying you're trying to convince them, but if you could.
I'll tell you honestly, I've never received a paycheck that has been worth more than the reward that you get from helping someone when they need it.
Do you still need volunteers at Buttonwood?
Always.
Yeah. So, and you're improving.
Tuesdays are a huge day.
Tuesdays,
we always
get the truck.
We always get a truck.
Yep.
So Tuesday morning is always a big need for volunteers.
Yeah.
How do you access the wish list? Well, we don't have a wish list yet, but we could make one. I know somebody. Oh wait, Jessica's up there, and she says we still have an Amazon wish list for Buttonwood, so we can update it with the supplies that I get from Heidi. So, great idea, Jessica, and then we'll push it out there on our Facebook page. So we won't give out the link yet because I don't think the supply list is correct until we fix it.
I'll get in touch with her.
The list. Okay, cool.
Get her a list.
All right. What did you want to make sure? Oh, this guy looks official. He's got some kind of.
That's Beaver.
That's our truck driver.
Oh, well, get him over here. Let's see, he's hiding in the background there.
This is one of our saving graces
right
here. Get in the camera.
Yeah, we got a little camera going here. Then, so what? If you could share a microphone, what makes you volunteer your time and help out the way?
God, I work for the Freedom Tour Church.
Okay.
And wherever He sends me, I go.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming over here.
I look. She's been a blessing helping people down here.
Yep.
That's like I tell everybody, the pastor's a blessing for sending everything.
Yeah.
All right.
Every week. He calls.
Every week.
Coming.
And you know when he's coming, don't you?
Yeah, well, now I know with the big air horn that you guys.
Yep, he's got it.
Yeah.
The freight
train horn.
It's so loud.
Yeah, Jessica, I need to send you, I don't know what's on there, but for sure paper plates and sunscreen and plastic knives and forks and garbage bags and Ziploc bags. So I don't know what's on there now. I haven't checked it out in a while, but maybe somebody has been keeping it updated. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Yeah. And if you guys, I think the Buttonwood location is actually the address in there, or one closer to the beach is in there.
Yeah,
that'll
the one
get
closer
here.
to the beach is in there, which
It'll
is
get here.
perfect.
Yeah.
And I
The
just
thing
want
with Amazon is they sometimes deliver late. So if we're not here, we don't want it stolen off the front doorstep here. So
I think it's important for people to know that the supplies are going where they need to go. So it's
right.
It's
Otherwise, you don't get the trust that,
Right.
there needs
Yeah.
to be some accountability, even though
100%.
people trust you or they trust me or they trust Heidi. There still needs to be, there's always a few people that question what you're doing and
Right.
think that,
Always.
And it's okay. I don't mind
right.
in any way because when
can
your
back it up.
intentions are 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
When your intentions are good, it shows in your work.
Right.
So but one of the biggest things is making sure that the supplies are getting to the people that need it and not just getting out in general. It needs to go to where the need is
Right.
most.
And
So
people that
Yeah.
come in here, you basically almost know all of them by now too, because they're all neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
we do. The other thing is we still take, Irina does actually, supplies to different areas that we know need supplies because there are still people that don't have cars that can't get here.
yeah,
So she's got a list and
we go on foot. We take our wagon. My little wagon's always in my
fill
car.
up the vehicle. She fills up her vehicle in a trailer and goes around and gets supplies out to people still.
And the good thing about that is that it helps you to assess a person's situation. So when we would start giving out supplies, we would go with just sometimes the most random stuff. Obviously, the solar lights were a big thing,
Mhm.
but we would take immunity packets or anything that we could just get at the time. And then we would go door to door, and that would help us assess a person's situation, see where they're at in the rebuilding process. And then we could make a list of things. Hey, we need bleach, we need vinegar, we need 360 cleaner. They're in the process of mold remediation. So we need those supplies. So going door to door, it helps me to connect with the community, which is really important to me.
Mhm.
But it also allows me to see where people are in that recovery process so that we can bring them whatever it is they need, even if it's water that day that they just need.
How far down did you get when you were walking?
I wish I could tell you.
Well, it's
'Cause
certainly
I was
hard to
new-
see
yeah.
back then where you were.
Yeah.
Get twisted around.
Yeah, and it's been the thing that happens with relief work is sometimes this is my first time ever being in Fort Myers.
Uh-huh.
I live on the East Coast, and one thing that I learned is when you're doing this kind of work, it is sometimes better to not have a connection to the community that you're helping because you don't emotionally get involved in the recovery effort in the very beginning. You just focus on work. When you go somewhere often and then all of a sudden something like this happens, your mind starts going towards, oh, this used to be here and where are these people? And so you have in the relief effort, sometimes it's better when you've never been to the place that you're going to help because you're 100% focused on just the work and helping people and you don't have an emotional connection to the actual place. Now I'm 100% emotionally connected
Yeah.
and invested. So now I'm kind of.
That's why I wonder sometimes how the firefighters did back when they were doing the search and rescue and the search and recovery because they were emotionally
They knew
involved in the
yeah.
community. They knew the people that
They
they
knew
were
people.
looking for. Maybe not everybody, but I'm sure they found people
Right.
that they
There's a
knew.
tool.
And did you run into any of the rescue workers while you were out there trying to help? And I mean, it's chaos. I don't. It's got to be some kind of organized or unorganized chaos when there are
It
just
is.
people that
It's a
we
war
were.
zone.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were just watching people in shock, walking up and down the sand-filled, Estero Boulevard with their shopping cart filled with whatever they had left.
Suitcase, yeah.
Like being in a Mad Max movie is the way it looked back in the day. I mean, it looks so much better now.
You had Kirby and Tina from Hurricane Tina's. They were serving food.
Right from the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah, she's been great.
Yeah.
And
Kirby too.
yeah, and so what is the focus now? Do you go back over there at all, or is it mostly you're trying to get this truck filled every week and get it over here?
What do you mean? Do I go?
Do you go back over to the island and help?
I'm always
other
here.
than demoing?
I don't leave Fort Myers. The
I
only
see.
time I leave Fort Myers is to go home to visit my family and
Mhm.
see my dogs because my house is still over there.
Oh, you own a house.
I own a house over
Okay.
there. Yeah, and my
Gotcha.
dogs. I have 3 dogs, and my dogs are at my home because they're safer there right now with my aunt. So she stays
see.
at my house and she takes care of them. And then I go home and see my.
Did you do
parents.
this before?
Do what,
Somewhere
relief?
else?
Yeah, we were in the Bahamas for right after Dorian.
And so when you compare the two, is Dorian a hurricane? I don't remember.
Yeah, Hurricane Dorian was the one that hit the Bahamas back in 2019.
Okay.
And it was Category 5, 185 mile an hour.
So
winds, and it
which
set.
place looked worse to you?
You can't really compare that because each location is different. Dorian had it was bad. You had Marsh Harbor and Abaco and Freeport that got hit really hard. That hurricane set over them for 36 hours. It was actually supposed to head towards West Palm. And I don't know who was on the beach blowing that wind, but it shifted all the way to the right. And that was bad. But when we got here, I'd never seen anything like this. This was.
What do you mean? Why?
Because it looked like a bomb went off.
Yeah.
It's just images that I'll never forget.
Uh-huh.
You know, you even though I'd never been here before this, you just know that there were a lot of lives lost, and physically, but also in general, you know, people lost their homes. It's just what we saw was catastrophic, and it was genuinely one of the hardest things that I've ever seen.
You mentioned to me before the show that you're going to be here for a while now. You got some full-time employees because Tim got a grant and the whole thing. Can you tell the folks more about that?
So we'll be open longer hours, starting May 1st. We'll be open 9 to 5, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Monday and Wednesdays will be open till 7 p.m.
Nice.
So yeah, we're going to do some events, and we have a lot of things in the work to continue to help the people here.
Yeah.
And you have enough volunteers, or you can use more volunteers in May, or anything that
we always can use volunteers.
Okay, and just show up like last.
You can just show up
beginning,
or you can find us on the United Way. We're on their page for volunteering. So
if anybody wants
either
to
way,
do demo work.
and the thing too that it's always important to get out is your donation, if you decide to make one, is now tax deductible.
Yes, because we are a official 501c3.
So you can also mail a check to 820 Buttonwood or the address on the Amazon wish list if you go on there and make a financial donation so that you can get supplies that
you can also donate on our website.
Okay, which is?
Ooh, you're gonna put me on the spot.
You better get that out there. How dare you?
fmbstrong.org.
Okay, and soon you'll have, according to the sign, you'll have a Facebook page soon, and
we do have a Facebook page.
It says coming soon, but extended
it says,
hours coming soon. Gotcha. And all the money that we raised from the 5K race on May 13th will be handed over to this organization. What would be a good donation to? What would you be happy with from the race?
Go big.
Yeah, $10,000 would be amazing.
All right.
And Ed's always on a mission, so
always
he's
like
going to prove me wrong, I hope.
Thank you, Margie, for putting it up there. fmbstrong.org. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Did you miss anything? I don't think so.
I mean, we just want to thank everybody who's ever coming through the door, volunteered their time, donated. We wouldn't be where we are without them.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that for some people, this is only the beginning. You know, I think when you look at the media and the sad thing about about these disasters is that, you know, even when I go home, sometimes my friends will look at me and be like, it's still happening. You're still there. You're still, and it's an entire person's life that has been completely shifted.
Yeah, every structure on the beach has been affected in one way or another. Not a single car that I've been able to find made it through the storm. It was a car cemetery, and obviously people died. But I mean, there's still houses that need to be knocked down. There's still giant piles of debris, even though Crowder Golf gave the town council an update yesterday on the amount of debris that was removed, and it's
I read that this morning.
Even the guy said he's never seen anything like it. And so you're right. It's just when people still say to me, I don't have power. I'm like, you don't have power.
Yeah.
Everybody has power. I thought everybody had power.
No.
People don't have water.
Yeah.
Some people, you know.
And I do think I tell volunteers the first day they volunteer with me that there's certain things that you should never tell or never say to a person that's going through the situation. And you should never start a sentence with, well, at least.
Right. Everyone's situation is different.
Well, at least
right.
You know, because regardless of what the situation is, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks to have worked your whole life for something, to have invested all that time, all that money, and then to lose it in a matter of 8 hours.
Yeah.
Your stability is completely gone. Yeah. So, well, at least is.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no matter whether they had a big expensive yacht or a tiny little rowboat, it's their life.
Matter.
It was their life.
It's still a loss. It's still a loss.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. Exactly. You put that, you know, doesn't matter if you were a renter or if you were a homeowner, it's still a loss.
And it's not getting any easier because the property values have gone up. and the building rules have gotten harder, and and the supplies that you need to build have gotten more expensive. And so, it's like you say, it is just the beginning.
Yeah.
It's for some, it's not even the beginning yet. They're
They
going
haven't even
through
gotten there yet.
insurance.
Right.
That's why places like this are so important, because any time that you can save someone a couple dollars on, toilet paper, paper towels, whatever it is, that money can go back towards them rebuilding in some way, whether it's drywall or nails or anything like that. It's expensive. I went to the store the other day and $11.53 for a carton of eggs.
Oh my.
I'd
Yeah.
rather have a chicken.
Yeah. Wow.
There was a lady that came in here a few months back, and she had said, this is the first time I was here. I've been here, and this was just a couple months ago. And she said, I thought, I had money in my savings. This wasn't for me. This was for people who are, and she's like, I've got no insurance money yet, and my savings is gone. She's like, now I'm one of these people.
Yeah.
And, and it didn't matter if you had money in your savings or not, or insurance or not. You still, every little bit here that you can get helps.
Yeah.
Even if it, like you said, just paper towel, toilet paper, laundry soap, cleaning supplies, all that stuff adds up.
It adds up.
And nobody, it's important to realize too, that if you need something and you come down here, nobody's going to make anybody feel like, it's, I want to make sure I say this the right way. Less of a person or anything like that. It's all one community trying to help each other out. And so if you
100%.
need something, you should really come down and get what you need. And there'll be more for people next week, and the shelves will be restocked, and the people that are in Wisconsin or Ohio or wherever they are will donate more supplies and send more stuff down. And so if you need something, come and get it, and don't feel like you feel bad because you needed something that day.
You deal with that a lot. We deal with that a lot when we go and talk to people. That humbleness, it's a beautiful thing to see, but at the same time, there are people that want to help you.
Yes.
And they want to see you get back to some kind of normalcy. So when you are in need of anything, it doesn't matter if it's toilet paper, it doesn't matter if it's paper towels. Like you said, nobody's looking down on you in any way. We're here to help. And so if we can't help, then we won't be here for it. So we need to have people that need our help.
Well, thank you both for coming on. Thank you for
you.
inviting
Thank
me
you.
down. I appreciate it. I'm going to have one more guest on before we, I got to get this clown on over here because I love Jorge Barrera. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it so much.
Speak Spanish. We speak Spanish.
Oh, you do?
Help.
Of
Yeah,
course you
Cuban.
do. I'm sure you speak 4 or 5 languages. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know him and you love him. Here he is, Jorge Barrera, still at 8:20. At 8:20. This is our camera here. And why are you still here?
I'm, I just haven't been able to be here as much. Both my wife and I had a couple of health procedures that we needed to take care of for the last couple of weeks, so we haven't been here much. But today we needed to stop and drop some stuff, and the truck happened to be here, so we just went at it and started working.
How crazy is it from the back in the day, in a few days after the storm, and seeing all the people here day after day after day and helping out and stocking the shelves and donating supplies? And we had like a little delivery cycle going from my house to here because there was no mail. People were driving their vehicles from somewhere around here to Gateway to pick up truckloads of supplies to help. And then they're still here almost 7 months later. It's great to see.
It is an amazing thing. And back in October, I remember just, watching you guys, and you guys were a huge motivation for me personally and my family. We started coming here, volunteering, and just every day I felt the need to be here. The place that I love was hurting, and the people that became my friends, colleagues, business owners, they were hurting. So my personal goal was to be here and try to make a difference for the community.
When the storm first hit, obviously all of our advertisers were gone because they were mostly in Times Square, and Times Square was gone. And so we were just putting out information, and the community has repaid us in a big way. I mean, I've been able to quit my job, and we have 18 regular sponsors and the whole thing, and it's kind of almost like this same. You feel like you're helping out, and the community pays you back, and you're kind of doing the same thing now. You're repaying the community in a different way.
I feel like you guys in my business is pretty much the same. Yeah,
Yep.
you have your followers. I have my clientele, but it was not the big exposure that we had. And when the storm hit, I remember being on my lanai, looking up, no lights anywhere, just a bunch of ambulances, sounds, and I just remember looking up and asking God, what to do, and He put it in my heart to donate, for 3 years, part of my commission sales. And at that time, I didn't know if I was gonna go and work part time somewhere, what my business was going to go. And I just trusted God, kept coming here and stuff. And now, people get to know me. They know my intentions.
Yes.
And same thing with you guys.
Yeah.
We're here for a purpose and to service the community pretty much.
And you're up to, I know I read it on the show last night, but what's the total that you've donated back now?
It's just shy of $35,000.
Nice.
Yes,
That's awesome.
Yes. So it's great. Yeah.
So it's 10% of the commissions of your real estate sales that you put back to, do you pick different organizations or?
So far I've been doing it to the Fort Myers Beach Women's Club.
Okay.
And
All right,
then
great
from there,
organization.
sometimes, sometimes they go ahead, they have given,
Distributed out.
like $5,000 came to Buttonwood to Fort Myers Beach Strong.
One of the things that I realized right from the get-go when people started watching us when the storm first started was that they just wanted to help.
Mhm.
They couldn't be there. They loved Fort Myers Beach. They saw how it was destroyed and the pain people were going through, and they just couldn't help enough.
Mhm.
And whether it was money or it was supplies or it was whatever they could, they just wanted to send stuff down here. And you see it the same way with, is it Irina?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Irina,
just see it. All she wants to do is help.
You just help.
And her total life is dedicated to that. Who does that? It's a rare person that does that 24/7 and lives in a tent.
It is. And you got Irina, you got Barry Rhodes too, is someone who came from up north for many, many months. He was here, no attachment to the town. And that's one of the things that the community itself is working so hard to rebuild. I'm so encouraged because I have clients, two of my clients just purchased properties as siblings, brother and sister.
Mhm.
Their grandparents used to own a house on Dakota beachfront.
Mhm.
It was wiped out. Now it's their parents' house. Many families could have said, you know what, let's just go somewhere else. Let's go and invest. No, their parents are going to rebuild. Now that the siblings who grew up here and used to ride their bikes when they were kids, now they bought to each one of a house.
Yeah.
So people love this place, and that's why it's so encouraging. We're gonna be fine. It's gonna take time, but we're going to be fine.
And there's, for every story like that, unfortunately, there will be property that gets sold, and people either they're on an age where they just don't want to go through that whole process, and they could get a nice penny for the property on Fort Myers Beach because you can't make any more beach. But there will be new people.
Yes.
And the beach will always be the beach. It's gonna take some years because a bomb was dropped on Fort Myers Beach, and it's gonna take a little while for it to recover.
It will take a while, and you know what? Yes, some people are going to sell. Yes, the island is not going to look the same, but the people make the vibe.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The people is just this is just an amazing community that I love.
And went a lot of years through a lot of storms where it stood and it was wobbling, but it took a massive storm to knock them down. And now you do have to build stronger because you don't ever want to go through that again. You don't ever want to have to suffer that pain again, and that destruction that people are going through on the beach.
Yeah.
So. Well, Jorge, thanks for everything, man. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for coming down here, and thank you for your support, and thank you for donating back to the community.
Yeah, thank you guys for doing everything.
All right.
Keep doing that.
Jorge Barrera, everybody, you know him and you love him. You know he's a sponsor, and if you want to get in touch with him about your property, or if you want to buy a property, you just go on our website or check out our newsletter. He's got one of the coolest marketing plans that you'll see. So check him out if you can. And before we go, I did want to remind everybody while we're here, we're at just about 200 runners for the 5K and the 1 mile fun run. The 5K will be timed. We have a professional timer that we've hired out of Cape Coral, Lindmark Sports. Perhaps you've run a race locally where he's timed. Mark and his wife have timed it, and it's we're going to give away medals to the top 3 finishers in every age category, from teens right up to I think it's 80. I mean, we have masters and grandmasters. And the medals are super cool. Not only are the medals cool, the medals have the logo on it, the new logo we created, but even the straps, the bands that hold the medal have, just great artwork for the medal. So it's going to be one that you're going to be proud to hang up somewhere in your house when you win that race on May 13th. Thanks to the town council for approving our special events permit yesterday. And so we're all good to go. We're going to have tents, and we're going to have nonprofit organizations, including FMB Strong, there at the event on May 13th. The race begins at 8:00. And of course, there'll be the 1 mile fun run, and you can walk it if you want. You can sign up virtually, and we'll send you a t-shirt. Of course, the t-shirt's going to be yellow because that's our thing. Yellow is our thing. So all the money that we raise, and Heidi said it would be nice to get a $10,000 check. I think we can do that. We're on a pretty good pace right now. If we get 300 registrations, pretty sure we can do that. The lot at Lynn Hall Park will be open at 5:30. So if you want to come down to stretch out, remember it's turtle season, so do not run on the beach with a light. If you're going to run maybe in the road, or just stretch it out until it starts to get light out. But we're going to wait for the okay from Eve at turtle time before we go out on the beach and set up the course. All right, everybody, it's been a fabulous time here at 820 Buttonwood. We appreciate you tuning in. I'll be here for a little while longer if you want to buy a t-shirt or a towel. And we're located right on the other side of the bridge if you're coming off the beach, and right before the bridge on the left if you're heading toward the beach. We will see you Friday night back at Margaritas and Saturday morning at Wahoo Willie's. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye.